Prince Edward Island is a province of Canada consisting of the island of the same name, as well as several much smaller islands. It is one of the three maritime provinces and is the smallest province in both land area and population. It is the only province of Canada to have no land boundary. The island has several informal names. Garden of the Gulf, referring to the pastoral scenery and lush agricultural lands throughout the province, and Birthplace of Confederation, or Cradle of Confederation, referring to the Charlottetown Conference in 1864, although Pei did not join Confederation until 1873, when it became the 7th Canadian province. The backbone of the economy is farming, as it produces 25% of Canada's potatoes. Historically, Pei is one of Canada's oldest settlements and demographically still reflects older immigration to the country, with Celtic, Anglo-Saxon and French last names being overwhelmingly dominant to this day. According to the 2011 census, the province of Prince Edward Island has 140,204 residents. It is located about 200 kilometers north of Halifax, Nova Scotia, and 600 kilometers east of Quebec City. It consists of the main island and 231 minor islands. Altogether, the entire province has a land area of 5,685.73 square kilometers. The main island is 5,620 square kilometers in size, which is slightly larger than the U.S. state of Delaware, is the 104th largest island in the world, and is Canada's 23rd largest island. Etymology: the island is named for Prince Edward, Duke of Kent and Strathearn, the fourth son of King George III and the father of Queen Victoria. Prince Edward has been called Father of the Canadian Crown. The following island landmarks are also named after the Duke of Kent: Prince Edward Battery, Victoria Park, Charlottetown, Kent College, Charlottetown, Kent Street, Charlottetown, West Kent Elementary School, Kent Street, Georgetown. The island is known in Scottish Gaelic as Eleanor, Friansa or Elanoin for some Gaelic speakers in Nova Scotia, though not on Pei, in Micmac, as a Begwite or Epic, with roughly translated, land cradled in the waves. Geography: Prince Edward Island is located in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, west of Cape Breton Island, north of the Nova Scotia Peninsula, and east of New Brunswick. Its southern shore bounds the Northumberland Strait. The island has two urban areas. The largest surrounds Charlottetown Harbour, situated centrally on the island's southern shore, and consists of the capital city Charlottetown, and suburban towns Cornwall and Stratford and a developing urban fringe. A much smaller urban area surrounds Summerside Harbour, situated on the southern shore 40 kilometers west of Charlottetown Harbour, and consists primarily of the city of Summerside. As with all natural harbours on the island, Charlottetown and Summerside harbours are created by Reus. The island's landscape is pastoral. Rolling hills, woods, reddish-white sand beaches, ocean coves and the famous red soil have given Prince Edward Island a reputation as a province of outstanding natural beauty. The provincial government has enacted laws to preserve the landscape through regulation, although there is a lack of consistent enforcement, and an absence of province-wide zoning and land use planning. Under the Planning Act of the province, municipalities have the option to assume responsibility for land use planning through the development and adoption of official plans and land use bylaws. 31 municipalities have taken responsibility for planning. In areas where municipalities have not assumed responsibility for planning, the province remains responsible for development control. The island's lush landscape has a strong bearing on its economy and culture. The author Lucy Maud Montgomery drew inspiration from the land during the late Victorian era for the setting of her classic novel Anne of Green Gables. Today, many of the same qualities that Montgomery and others found in the island are enjoyed by tourists who visit year-round. They enjoy a variety of leisure activities, including beaches, various golf courses, eco-tourism adventures, touring the countryside, and enjoying cultural events in local communities around the island. The smaller, rural communities as well as the towns and villages throughout the province retain a slower pace, old-world flavor. Prince Edward Island has become popular as a tourist destination for relaxation. The economy of most rural communities on the island is based on small-scale agriculture. Industrial farming has increased as businesses buy and consolidate older farm properties. The coastline has a combination of long beaches, dunes, red sandstone cliffs, saltwater marshes, and numerous bays and harbors. The beaches, dunes and sandstone cliffs consist of sedimentary rock and other material with a high iron concentration, which oxidizes upon exposure to the air. The geological properties of a white silica sand found at Basin Head are unique in the province. The sand grains cause a scrubbing noise as they rub against each other when walked on, and have been called the singing sands. Large dune fields on the North Shore can be found on barrier islands at the entrances to various bays and harbors. The magnificent sand dunes at Greenwich are of particular significance. The shifting, parabolic dune system is home to a variety of birds and rare plants. It is also a site of significant archaeological interest. Despite Prince Edward Island's small size and reputation as a largely rural province, it is the most densely populated province in Canada, as it lacks the vast amounts of undeveloped and sparsely populated wilderness common to the other provinces. Climate. The climate of the island is considered to be moderate and strongly influenced by the surrounding seas. As such, it is milder than inland locations owing to the warm waters from the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The climate is characterized by changeable weather throughout the year. It has some of the most variable day-to-day weather in Canada, in which specific weather conditions seldom last for long. During July and August, the average daytime high in Pay is 23 degrees Celsius. However, the temperature can sometimes exceed 30 degrees Celsius during these months. In the winter months of January and February, the average daytime high is minus 3.3 degrees Celsius. The island receives an average yearly rainfall of 855 mm and an average yearly snowfall of 285 cm. Winters are moderately cold and long but are milder than inland locations, with clashes of cold Arctic air and milder Atlantic air causing frequent temperature swings. The climate is considered to be more continental than oceanic since the Gulf of St. Lawrence freezes over, thus eliminating any moderation. The mean temperature is minus 7 degrees Celsius in January. During the winter months, the island usually has many storms and blizzards since during this time, storms originating from the North Pacific or the Gulf of Mexico frequently pass through. Springtime temperatures typically remain cool until the sea ice has melted, usually in late April or early May. Summers are moderately warm, but rarely uncomfortable, with the daily maximum temperature only occasionally reaching as high as 30 degrees Celsius. Autumn is a pleasant season, as the moderating Gulf waters delay the onset of frost. Although storm activity increases compared to the summer, there is ample precipitation throughout the year, although it is heaviest in the late autumn, early winter and mid-spring. Geology. Between 250 to 300 million years ago, freshwater streams flowing from ancient mountains brought silt, sand and gravel into what is now the Gulf of St. Lawrence. These sediments accumulated to form a sedimentary basin, and make up the island's bedrock. When Pleistocene glaciers receded about 15,000 years ago, glacial debris such as till was left behind to cover most of the area that would become the island. This area was connected to the mainland by a strip of land, but when ocean levels rose as the glaciers melted, this land strip was flooded, forming the island. As the land rebounded from the weight of the ice, the island rose up to elevate it further from the surrounding water. Most of the bedrock in Prince Edward Island is composed of red sandstone, part of the Permian-aged Pictou group, although commercial deposits of minerals have not been found. Exploration in the 1940s for natural gas beneath the northeastern end of the province resulted in the discovery of an undisclosed quantity of gas. The island was reported by government to have only 0.08 TCF of technically recoverable natural gas. 20 exploration wells for hydrocarbon resources have been drilled on Prince Edward Island and offshore. The first reported well was Hillsborough No. 1, drilled in Charlottetown Harbor in 1944, and the most recent was New Harmony No. 1 in 2007. Since the resurgence of exploration in the mid-1990s, all wells that have shown promising gas deposits have been stimulated through hydraulic fracture or fracking. All oil and natural gas exploration and exploitation activities on the island are governed by the Oil and Natural Gas Act RSPEI, 1988, Cap. 0-5 and its associated regulations and orders. Water supply. The province of Prince Edward Island is totally dependent on groundwater for its source of drinking water. As groundwater flows through an aquifer, it is naturally filtered. The water for City of Charlottetown is extracted from 13 wells in 3 well fields and distributed to customers. The water removed is replenished by precipitation. Infrastructure in Charlottetown that was installed in 1888 is still in existence. With the age of the system in the older part of Charlottetown, concern has been raised regarding lead pipes. The utility has been working with its residents on a lead replacement program. A plebiscite in 1967 was held in Charlottetown over fluoridation, and residents voted in favor. Under provincial legislation, the utility is required to report to its residents on an annual basis. It is also required to do regular sampling of the water, and an overview is included in each annual report. The Winter River watershed provides about 92% of the 18 million-litre water supply for the city of Charlottetown, which had difficulty in each of 2011, 2012 and 2013 with its supply, until water meters were installed. Minister of Communities, Land and Environment Robert Mitchell tabled a discussion paper on the proposed Water Act for the province on 8 July 2015. The use of groundwater came under scrutiny as the potato industry, which accounts for $1 billion every year and 50% of farm receipts, has pressed the government to lift a moratorium on high-capacity water wells for irrigation. The release of the discussion paper was to set off a consultation process in the autumn of 2015. Detailed information about the quality of drinking water in Pay communities and watersheds can be found at the Department of Environment, Labour and Justice. It provides a summary of the ongoing testing of drinking water done by the Prince Edward Island Analytical Laboratories. Average drinking water quality results are available, and information on the following parameters are provided: alkalinity, cadmium, calcium, chloride, chromium, iron, magnesium, manganese, nickel, nitrate, pH, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, and sulfate, as well as the presence of pesticides. Water testing services are provided for a variety of clients through the Pay Analytical Laboratories, which assesses according to the recommendations of the Guidelines for Canadian Drinking Water Quality published by Health Canada. Unique flora and fauna. In 2008, a new ascomycete species, Yarnula epiospora, was collected from submerged wood in a freshwater creek on Prince Edward Island, Canada.